Hey everybody, welcome to the Fish Tank. My name is John. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe if anybody watches this, I don't know. I want to talk about Stephen A. Smith today. Love the guy. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but I love the guy. I love the guy because he stands up for what he believes in. He doesn't back down from anybody. He takes no crap. Okay? I appreciate and respect somebody like that. And Stephen A. and I have some things we agree on. We do. He's not exactly Mr. Woke Culture, that guy. I respect that. Okay? I don't think you're going to see Stephen A. talking about how we need to let trans women compete against regular women. Okay? If you was born a boy, you got a biologic advantage against a girl. That's just the way it is. All right? But that's a different video. But Stephen A., people get on him because he calls out Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett, who is trash, okay? She's a faker, okay? She is as fake a person the way she acts right now as the accent I'm using right now, okay? This isn't my real voice, okay? I do a ton of different voices. I do a ton of different accents, okay? So this broad, she pretends to be like from the hood, and she ain't. She ain't from the hood. She's not, okay? She pretends to be that way. She acts all ratchet because it gets certain eyes on her, all right? And she wants these eyes on her. Stephen A. called her out for it. Don't blame him one bit. I respect it. I appreciate it. She needs to be called out for that kind of crap. And people start getting on him about it, and he's like, nah. He gets back on his politics show, and he's like, hey, you can try to call me out for this, but let me tell you, I'm right. And he is right. He absolutely is right. Stephen A. Smith is closer to being a conservative than he thinks he is, okay? He still has that mindset, he still thinks he's a liberal. Kind of like Bill Maher. Bill Maher still thinks he's a liberal. Bill Maher ain't a liberal no more. Okay, he thinks he is, but he ain't. Stephen A. is the same way. Okay, but I respect the fact that Stephen A. Smith stands up for what he believes in. He fights back. It's important. It is absolutely important that we defend ourselves and protect ourselves, and that we stand up for what we believe in. And we tell people, hey, I don't give a crap. All right? Well, you think these people are going to stop watching this show? No, of course not. Of course not. They're not going to stop watching this show. But Stephen A. Smith, I saw him on PBD's podcast. The first time I ever really heard him talk about anything political was on the PBD podcast. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's smart as a whip. I agree with him on a couple of things. The thing that would scare me in the next election cycle would be if this guy got the Democrat nominee. If this guy was the Democratic nominee. Because holy moly. That would be a thing. That would absolutely be a thing. 100%. But I respect Stephen A. Smith. I respect I respect him for speaking his mind. Speaking truth to power, so to speak. All right. But see, this is the problem with the libs. With the left. Because they ain't real liberals, okay? This is the problem with the left. If you don't toe their line, they come at you. They come at you hard. They come at you harder than you can believe. Especially if he was one of them. Especially if you're black. Look at the things they said about Ben Carson. The guy's a brilliant neurosurgeon. And Ben says some things I don't agree with. Ben has a different philosophy about some things. He believes some things that don't make sense to me, but I love Ben Carson. But they attack Ben Carson. They attack guys like Anton Daniels. Which, by the way, if you ain't watching Anton with the stuff Anton Daniels is doing, you really should. You know, they call these guys Uncle Toms because they haven't read the book. Every conservative knows Uncle Tom was the hero. For some reason, the left thinks he's the bad guy. I don't know why. Probably because they haven't read the book. They swear they're all well read, but they ain't. They ain't well read at all. Okay? It's important for us to take lessons from people like Stephen A. Smith in life. Stephen A. Smith stands up for what he believes in. He fights back. And he speaks his mind. We don't have to agree with somebody to respect them. We don't have to agree with somebody to see the value they bring in life. The value they bring to our country. Guys like Stephen A. Smith and John Fetterman are people we can reach out to, we can work with, and we can talk to. And we can find middle ground with these people. And I was skeptical when Fetterman won the Senate seat. This guy just had a stroke. He was having a hard time making sentences. And I didn't hold that against him, but to be in that position and go into the Senate and be in that position, I was like, oh my God, this guy. And my thought was, who's putting him up to it? And then over the last year and a half, I listened to the guy, and he's clearly recovered well from the stroke, which is great. As somebody who works in healthcare, I think that's he's recovered marvelously from the stroke, and I appreciate that and I respect that. But I don't, at the time, I was like, this could be a disaster for him. I didn't even know anything about his politics. He wasn't running in my state. I don't know. But look at what he's become. Look at how he's reached out. Look at how he's willing to work across the aisle to find solutions. We need more people like that. And we need more people like that in the conservative movement too. Okay? We need more people like Charlie Kirk that are willing to have the conversations. Okay? We got to be willing to talk. And yes, I know that's very hard when the other side ain't willing to talk to us. Okay? But we have to figure that out. We got to figure out a way to get them to talk to us. And the ones that won't talk to us, the ones who want to do violence on us, well, I don't know what to say about that. Other than protect yourself, you know? You got to defend yourself. If they come after you, and only if they come after you, okay? We don't do preemptive crap around here. That's not the way conservatives work. And anybody who's a conservative who thinks that's the way we do things, you're in the wrong movement. But anyway, that's just my bit on that. That's all I got to say about it. I love you all. Thank you. Have a good night. My name is John. Remember, I am Christian. I am conservative. I will not be silent. We are Charlie Kirk.